All right, welcome back. Today is going to be slightly different of a recipe. This is more of a long-lasting thing, and it could just be something that would interest you if you like to make bread and but the problem is you're gluten-free or someone in your family is gluten-free. Um so this is how to make a sourdough starter that is gluten-free. And how you start it out is you need two two parts water and one part a flour. And the recommendation is you do like one kind of gluten-free flour. You don't do like a mix. So I chose brown rice flour. And what you do is you mix these two and you let it sit to ferment. And once it ferments to a certain level, it it creates like the bread starter, which then you can start to make bread with. All right, so once it's mixed together like this, you can let it sit for a day. And once it's the next day, you're going to have to throw away half and add in another 1 part flour and 2 parts water. And you're going to have to likely repeat this for about a week to 2 weeks. I would recommend the 2 weeks just to make sure it gets established as a starter. And I will show a video once mine has done the 2 weeks and show you how mine is going. And also you're going to need to cover it. And I kind of have a covering like something like this, which will cover the jar up and just kind of protect it. So yeah, I'll cut to it in 2 weeks to show you how it's going, and I will talk to you about how you can continually maintain it to keep using in the future. All right, so it has now been 2 weeks, and in this time, you can see it's kind of thickened up, and now it is established. It has bubbles at the top, and once it gets to this point where it kind of looks like this, and just importantly has the bubbles on top, you can start feeding it 1 cup flour and 3/4 cups warm water, and this should be done in a time period of like every like every day or so, just if you're actively using it, and it'll help maintain it. And if you are not actively using it, make sure to refrigerate it. This is just to help ensure that mold doesn't grow on it and that there isn't like any way that the starter can start going bad. And also it's like slows down the feeding so that you don't have to feed as consistently, and it'll slow it to like a rate of about feeding every like every week. And once it gets to that point, just if you're using it actively, just remember to do that every day. If you're not, just remember to feed it every week. If you fail to feed it, sometimes it can start to get an alcohol on the top that you might have to dump out, or worse, it can mold. And it's just important to not get to that stage, because otherwise you can lose the starter and you might have to restart. And I know I don't have a ton right now, but these can get a lot larger with time through feeding. And if this ever becomes larger and there's too much, you can just separate it out. All right, and thank you for watching this video. And this was a interesting project for me, especially since this is not like my normal videos, but this one is especially helpful because it is a constantly renewable like source of food once you feed it. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Hit that like and subscribe button. I appreciate you guys for watching and supporting my cast project. Bye. All right, so I'm going to example a recipe of what you can do with this starter. So first, this is the first step of a 2-day process, and you're going to weigh out 750 grams of the gluten-free flour, and then 562 grams of lukewarm water. I put it into a jar, and then you're going to mix them together and let it sit for 30 minutes while being covered with a damp dish towel. All right, the next step after it has sat for the 30 minutes is to add in the set amount of the starter. And this set amount is, in grams, it's 150. And so you just add it in and you have to start mixing. And then once you are done mixing the dough and combining it with the starter, you add in your 1 tablespoon and 3/8 teaspoon salt and the 3/4 teaspoon olive oil, and also the 1/3 teaspoon sugar. And that's once it's done. However, I'll make a quick little clip after this showing how to mix it together. And the way you're going to want to mix this is kind of a pinch and pull up technique like this. Just try and grab a little bit at a time. I know sometimes it's hard because it sticks together. And do this until it's thoroughly mixed together, both the starter and the pre-made like flour and water. All right, mixture. Once it's mixed to this amount, you cover it and let it sit for another 10 minutes. All right, so the next step after the 10 minutes is to pull it up and then fold it over, and then you turn the bowl, and then you continue the same step where you keep pulling up, folding over, and you just want to kind of stretch it as much as possible. And you do this for 10 minutes straight, and then after you let it sit for an hour with the wet rag still covering it. All right, after the hour of it sitting covered with in a warm environment, you have to do the exact same lift under and stretch technique, only 4 times, 1 in each direction, and then after that you wait for another hour and put it back in the oven. And we're going to do this 2 more times. I'm not going to show it because it's the same thing each time. Just know you have to do this a total of 3 times. Just do the four stretches and then leave it for an hour and then do it again. All right, so once you've done that cycle 3 times, lay out a parchment paper with some flour on it like this. The gluten-free flour. And then what you have to do is you have to take your bowl and flip it upside down and let gravity drop it down. All right, and once it is on the parchment like this, you want to do the 4 folds again into a square and then cover it with the same towel again and let it sit for 20 minutes. All right, so once it is set for the 20 minutes, you're going to need to fold it in, and then roll it up together. And then you can place it inside of like a sourdough basket that's lightly coated with the gluten-free flour. And then you put it in the fridge and let it set overnight. And I will just jump to in the morning where we're going to be baking. After the bread has sat in the fridge for about like 10-ish hours, it'll have kind of fluffed up like this. and make sure it's covered. So next you have to flip it onto a piece of parchment paper with some flour. You don't have to have this fancy thing. It's just something we have because we make so much bread. And you flip it, and then you have to score it with a knife and make sure it's well floured. All right, so once you're done scoring, it should look something like this. Obviously, it doesn't have to be a smiley face. I just did it for fun. LOL, I'm so silly. All right, so next step is put it into a Dutch oven like this. We have like a pot branded one, and so then you put it into the oven and set it to 450 degrees, and you want to keep it in there from when the oven is cool to once it hits 450, and start a timer for an hour. All right, after an hour, this is how it came out. I just want to thank you all for watching the video and supporting my cast experience. I hope you have a great rest of your day.